Ankalaev put out a tweet. He said that Pereira is done. He's done and he's never coming back. As for me, it's time to move on. I was offered June, July, August. I said yes to all of them. All right. Now, there is just something about a guy calling for another guy's retirement. Like there's just something about that. And whether Ankalaev is one of these secret funny guys from the Caucasus region, or he got somebody to help in and be a creative writer for him, I couldn't possibly care less. Elvis didn't write most of those songs. He was up on stage singing, but there's a reason that he was the guy in the blue jumpsuit with the microphone in his hand. Like, Ankalaev has been on fire. When it comes to Pereira, though, I must tell you, I am instantly inclined to defend strongly. Like, there is a question I would have, which is, did you all forget? I mean, did we forget all the things that Pereira did for us in industry? All the way to doing the Ankalaev fight, which many of you said, hey, it's too risky. As a matter of fact, Ankalaev was the favorite in that fight. A couple of times that week, bounced back and forth, right? But what about the time before that against Khalil? Khalil was never on Ankalaev's radar, and many of you said, don't do that. Khalil was ranked number 8. They had never gone all the way down to 8, not any time in recent history. In fact, the lowest that they had gone in recent history was Strickland for his fight with Izzy when Strickland was number 6. I mean, this was a really interesting thing. You're Pereira, you got something to protect. You're playing those guys through in your head all night long. You lay down at night, you get behind the wheel of your car. You're driving down, all you're thinking about is different scenarios and how would I deal with this guy and how would I beat this guy? What if I'm down by 2 rounds and there's one left? What if I'm down by 4 rounds and I've got to finish him? Like, you're playing all these different scenarios. Pierre would never play a scenario that involved Khalil Rountree. He was number 8. He just won it. So then Pierre agrees to step in. He goes out to Salt Lake, which Utah and UFC have a very interesting relationship. I mean, the events that they're bringing to Utah show such a high respect for that area, and now they got him on top of the bill, and we find out he's got 3 injuries. We find out his foot was so bad. I'm talking about Pierre. We find out that he's got a staph infection that was so bad. We find out that he's got a cold that was so bad. People in his team were pulling him out, and when he flew into town, he even flew thinking, I might have to cancel this fight once I land, but let me get a little closer. Let me give it another night's sleep. Let me just see how I feel. He didn't do that stuff for his bank account, guys. He didn't do that for his legacy. He didn't have a legacy on the line in the Khalil Rountree fight. He did that for the industry. He did that for you. He did that for the company. He did that for Khalil. He did that for the boys in the back with similar attitudes. And Pereira, what did he fight 4 times in a short period of time? All 5-round world title fights? I remember International Fight Weekend when he steps in and fills in against Yuri Prochazka, who is about the worst draw you could ever get anywhere in the UFC. Yuri Prochazka is a top 3 worst draw because he's so tough and he's so awkward and he's so game. You can't scare him. You can't back him down. You can't beat him down. I mean, it's one of these things. And Pereira said yes, and not just yes. That made the second time he said yes. Again, he had no reason to do the fight. There was no legacy on the line. He'd already beaten him. He did it for you. He did it for the organization. He did it for Yuri Prochazka. He did it for the locker room in the back of light heavyweights that need that division to move forward so that they can keep morale alive for their own dreams. So, Ankalaev has earned the right. Ankalaev can say about Pierre what he wants. He earned the right to do that. And Ankalaev is trying to fight him. He's not a guy running his mouth that won't get in there and fight him. If Ankalaev gets his way, if Ankalaev gets his way and they just find him a new opponent and move on, I am going to reinvigorate my own personal push to get Pereira to heavyweight. Right? If Pereira is not going to fight for the world title at 205, I believe that we need to have him fight at 205. I'm going to make my own personal push that we get him up a class and see if this champ thing can be done. And I think that Pereira versus Aspinall, I think Pereira versus Jones, I mean, I'm just sharing with you, that will be the direction that I hope we go. But let me stay at 205. Now, Khalil's got his hands full, by the way. Khalil's got a nightmare in front of him. But he's got a 50% chance of winning. Right? His opponent gets the other 50, but it's not bad odds in an MMA fight. And I do think that if Khalil comes out on top, I think Khalil should get the nod. I think it should be Khalil versus Ankalaev. Now, I have my own beliefs that Rachik is the most dangerous guy in that division. But Rachik is coming off a defeat. And it's a defeat to Ankalaev. He's not going to get that fight. He's not going to call for that fight. Jamal's always a good option. I do understand those things. Prohaska and Ankalaev have never met up, have they, guys? I think I have that stat right. So you have a lot of fun at 205 pounds. Pereira not fighting Ankalaev or not fighting him next does not constitute a retirement. It doesn't even constitute something that we can be irritated with. Pereira's done too much for us. He's got too many bills stacked up in an account of goodwill. But what should be next? With a win, he's got to get the win. I'd like to see Rountree get that opportunity.